Hello everyone and welcome back to Hey Dad RC. Tonight on the workbench we have got the HBX Rampage. It's a 1/18 scale 4-wheel drive brushed monster truck. I picked this truck up a couple years ago and they're fun little trucks. I've got a couple of these 1/18 HBX cars. They're not a lot of money. They're pretty fun. Plenty of speed for the size they are, and they've proven to be plenty tough. This one here is set, I don't know, it's been well over a year since I used it, and this past summer, a few of the fellows at work have gotten into RC. There's 4 of us that have kind of gotten into it, and the one fellow that's shown interest was really curious about it, and so I gave him the Rampage, set him up with the charger and the battery and the controller and everything, and said, here, test the waters on a car like this and see how you like it. And he had it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks and really put it through its paces and drove it quite a bit. And he came in one day and said that the truck wouldn't work anymore. And I said, bring it to me. I'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, I had just given him my 1/16 scale Red Cat Volcano. I said, here, just take this. You can keep it. And I'll take this one back. So I seen it sitting up on the shelf here, and I figured it's time to dig into it to see what's wrong. And here's the issue. Start by turning on the radio. Turn the truck on. See, we've got steering, but you go to hit the throttle. And you hear that ESC whine, but nothing's happening. And I haven't really looked at this truck yet, other than both front and rear wheels. You spin one, the other, will spin in the opposite direction like it's supposed to. But if you take both tires, front or rear, and you try and move them, they are bound up. And that's both front and rear tires. So I figured while taking a look at this, I would throw the camera on the tripod and we would take this car apart and see what the issue is. Okay, so after removing the 5 screws that hold your cover over the rear gears here, exposing your pinion and spur gear, we see that, everything looks in order, but you got nothing that is bound up. Your spur gear is totally bound up. So next thing I think we'll do is we're going to remove the 2 screws. Hard to see here, but you've got 2 screws I'll try and gain access to loosen that motor up, get the motor out of there, and after the motor's freed up, we'll turn it back on, make sure the motor works. But I think we're going to have to end up getting into this rear diff case to see what's going on. Alright, so now we've got that motor out, and like I said, we'll hook up the battery, but I think we've already found the culprit here, and I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but this truck is pretty dirty. Like I said, this kid put it through its paces quite a bit, but now that we've got the motor off the mounting plate, we see that turning both wheels, they spin freely. There is no binding, so pretty safe to assume that you have no issues in your diffs. Everything seems fine. But when I took this motor out, I tried to turn the pinion, and for a split second it had resistance. It did not want to go, and then it broke free, and I heard something fall onto the table. One little tiny pebble got stuck in there, I'm assuming, and bound the whole works up. But now that we've got everything taken apart, we'll just hook it up quick. Turn the radio back on, turn the car back on, and we should be good to go, I'm guessing. Motor works, so it still doesn't sound great, but as long as I've got everything unbuttoned here, I'm gonna take this out to the garage quick, hit it with the air compressor, clean everything out. We come back, we'll get it all put back together and see what we got. Okay, so we're back from the garage, got the truck blown off pretty well to get any excess debris out of there. And while I was at it, I threw a couple drops of oil down into the motor, blew everything out, and the motor sounds quite a bit better. Before there was a little bit of hesitation still as well, but yeah, one little tiny pebble. So off camera, I'll get the same button back up and we'll show you that we should be back in shape. All right, guys, we've got the truck button back up and everything should be good to go now that, you know, you grab both front and rears and you're going to get, you know, the wheels moving, whereas before they wouldn't do that. And so now time to see, is it fixed? Oh yeah, it's fixed. It's ready to rock once again. And you know, I thought maybe this video would be helpful possibly to people, you know, new people in the hobby, especially when you're new and you don't know a lot about the hobby itself. And I think this could go for most hobbies. When you start out and you don't really know much about it and something small like this can happen, it can really discourage somebody from wanting to continue into the hobby, especially, you know, if you don't have that mind towards taking something apart to figure out what's wrong with it. And early on, it can be a daunting task for a newcomer. But as we saw the case with this truck here today, when something goes wrong, it's not always catastrophic. It's not always something that you have to order a ton of parts and rebuild the whole truck. In this case, it was a simple pebble, a very small pebble, obstructing the drive line and allowing this truck to not drive. You know, that's why I always say that preventative maintenance is always a good thing. I'm not necessarily always the most retentive when it comes to thoroughly cleaning my vehicles after each use. I do a pretty good job, I think, but at least, the very least, every time you run your RC, you should go over it quickly when you're done. Hit it with the air compressor, take the body off, hit inside here with the air compressor, which I did tell this guy to do, but he obviously didn't. You know, hit it with the air compressor, check your screws, make sure that you don't have any screws backing out, and you know, 9 times out of 10, the next time you grab any rig and bring it back out, it's going to be ready to rock. So I just thought I would share this simple video out there with you guys. Just you know, I figure with most of my videos, as long as I've entertained one person or taught one person one thing, then, you know, it's always worth it. So yeah, the Rampage is back. It's ready to go. Like I said, I'd given that guy the 1/16 Red Cat monster truck, so I'm not sure what we'll do with this. Maybe I'll give it to somebody else at work. I'm not sure. But it is fixed, and I'll share this with you guys as long as I've got the camera out. In case you missed the community post, I think it was yesterday. The Tamiya G601 King Yellow body is ready to go. Not perfect, but it came out pretty well, I think. I think it's going to look awesome once it sits on that chassis that I have yet to build, but with the colder weather moving in, I wanted to get the body done first, and hopefully this weekend I can start building the chassis and hopefully get a first run video done before the snow starts to fly. A lot of times here where I live, usually we get a first recordable amount of snow, typically by the first week of November, so hopefully we can start building that chassis this weekend and get it running. So guys, as always, thanks for taking some time out of your day to check out my videos, and until next time, everybody stay safe. We'll see you around.